Walmart announcing it's closing 3 stores.
Walmart's CEO says that they may have to not only raise prices, but even close some stores since they're taking a huge financial hit with shoplifting, crimes like retail theft. We heard from the CEO, Doug McMillon, and he says that many prosecutors, they're just not being tough enough on those who steal merchandise, and they're losing a lot of money.
These are not Santa's little helpers, but criminals helping themselves to as much clothing as they can possibly grab before leaving the store without paying.
All right, we have some surveillance video tonight. It shows the theft of $50,000 worth of electronics from a Walmart in Massillon.
Tonight, Memphis police are looking for nearly 24 shoplifters who stormed a local Walmart and stole some high-priced items.
3 people are wanted after a string of robberies. In the most recent case, the trio threatened violence inside a local Walmart.
A brazen thief takes off with nearly $19,000 worth of iPads and iPhones.
Hey guys, and welcome to Mika Reacts and Reviews, where we react and review to things on the internet. So Chicago Walmarts have shut down along with Portland, even though for some reason the mainstream media is only focusing on Chicago because black and brown people live there, I guess. And I'm shocked that people are shocked that the Walmarts are shutting down, because it is quite obvious why they're shutting down. Is being a massive amount of theft going on. It has been a trend. It has been happening for a couple of years now, where people can literally go in with giant garbage bags and casually, they don't even have to run because nothing's going to happen to them, casually shoplift. Like they're shopping, but they're stealing, really, right? Big TVs, computers, electronics, just get away with it because of the policies, the progressive policies that's enacted in these cities. But of course, when progressive policies start to fail, what does the progressive politicians do? They blame stuff on like racism.
Instead of just looking at the bottom line, I think these retailers need to focus on where did they drop the ball.
It's like they're trying to starve the black neighborhood or something. I don't know what's going on.
So what will fill this big void here in Homewood? It's actually way too early to tell, of course, but one shopper we talked to says she's crossing her fingers that an Amazon store comes in.
I'm sorry to be mean or be the bearer of bad news, but why would Amazon invest in a community or an area or a neighborhood where they will constantly be losing money because of massive theft, supported by progressive policies and soft on crime laws? It's the racism. It's the institutions. Like, they're trying to starve the black people. They don't care about black communities, which is weird. Again, I didn't see this much media attention when it happened in Portland because the people who were being interviewed were white. So it happened in Portland. That wasn't due to racism. That wasn't due to because they don't care about the community. But when it happens in Chicago, all of a sudden it's racism. But this is what progressive politicians do when their progressive policies fail. And again, if the people don't ever wake up, then this would just be a consistent, persistent thing. I wanted to point out something where I see what's going on with the theft, and I made a video. Before I get to that point, I made a video, and I don't know if it's published yet because it's a freaking long video. So I'll probably do a couple of shorter videos sort of breaking down parts of that longer video where I talk about, I think, the destruction of society and of the country that I think we are all witnessing today is by design. It was manufactured, and some people will say the Great Reset. Some people will say other things. The government just wants to have control. The government wants people to be perpetually dependent on them. And so you see these laws that are now being enacted, mostly, again, progressive laws being soft on crime, to allow violent criminals to be catch and released back into the streets so they can just commit more violence, but still tell you that you cannot protect yourself with a gun. And then there's other, law just sort of allowing people to just, again, shoplift thousands of dollars worth of merchandise at a time over and over and over and over and over again with absolutely zero consequences. And what's going to happen is what we see happening today. These stores are going to close. And what happens when these stores close? There's going to be a lack of job opportunities, which means people will not be able to financially take care of themselves as well as they were before, and then become more financially dependent on the government. Another thing that's going to happen is when you have a massive amount of theft going on in a community, people stop financially investing in that community, which is funny because like when people do financially, like heavily financially invest in what used to be a low income community, they call it gentrification, and then they protest against it, and then they get sad and upset when the money is pulled out of the community, which makes no sense. Like, do you want investment to be in a community? Because like if someone invests in a community, it basically raises the value of that community, which inherently is going to raise the value of property, which is great for property owners, but it's not so great for renters, right? But it's a give or take here. So anyway, when investors in corporations see that there are certain communities that are just being robbed blind, like they are not going to keep investing in that community. Why would they? They're just going to keep losing money. It's not in their best interest to invest in a community that doesn't really seem to care about the community that they're in, right? And so, because one of the Walmarts, I believe that was in Chicago, used to be something else. I think it used to be like a Super K or Kmart or something like that, and then it was a Walmart. What's going to keep happening is because either that space would just be vacant for a really long time, which, you know, we have a large vacant properties and lots that usually just attracts like the worst of the worst. It attracts drug dealers, it attracts criminals, it attracts squatters, it attracts homeless people. Like, it doesn't attract the best of the best when you have a large empty building or empty property like that. But so either it will stay empty, which will degrade the value of that community, or it will be replaced by a store that's commonly known to be in low income areas. Like, it will become a Family Dollar or some off-brand store that no one's really heard of, or again, that's commonly just more in low income neighborhoods, like, you know, liquor stores or something like that, right? And so slowly these communities become the ghetto. They become more low income because the value of those communities go down, the value of those properties go down, and then again, people stop investing in those communities, because why would I invest in a community that doesn't, again, seem to care about the communities that they live in if they keep stealing from the stores that's in these communities? And they're going to slowly degrade into the ghetto, the hoods, right, or low income communities. And the people who don't want to be a part of that are going to move out, and then the property value will be lower, which is going to invite people of lower income. And I'm not saying that everyone of lower income are ghetto or hood or whatever, but they tend to be less educated, less aware, and stuff like that. I know I'm going to get fucking canceled for this, but you know what I mean, right?
They're not sending their best.
I work in a retail shop right now, and I'm not going to name the retail shop I work at, but it used to be like a Walgreens, and now is a shop that's commonly known to be in lower income neighborhoods. When I first came here and staying with my dad, it didn't look like a bad area. It's not a bad area. It's not even the ghetto, but it looks barren. It looks like there's not a lot of investment in this area. There's not a lot of businesses. There's not a lot of people investing opportunities in this area because there's a lot of theft here. And I've been there for a month and a half and 2 months, and probably 5 or several occasions, people have stolen hundreds of dollars worth of merchandise right in front of our faces. So at first it was a Walgreens, and now it's a retail shop that's known to be more in lower income neighborhoods. And eventually, the retail shop I'm working at will be closed down because they can no longer financially afford it to stay open. Right? And then eventually those people who live there won't have a place to shop. There's nowhere else around here to shop. I'm telling you, there's not a lot of businesses because it doesn't look like there's a lot of investment here. And so now they have to go to the suburbs just to go buy a carton of milk, right? And so you're taking opportunities, you're taking resources from the communities that these people live in. And again, eventually the value of these communities go lower and lower and lower. And then it becomes the hood. It becomes the ghetto. My father lived in Detroit during the Detroit riots, right? And he told me this story about how a lot of the mainstream media will make it seem like these neighborhoods were the ghetto, when the riots happened, and the redlining pushed black people into the ghetto, right? And I'm not pro redline, it was wrong, and segregation is wrong, but he was saying, like, just because it was segregation and just because it was a black neighborhood doesn't mean it was the ghetto. He said it wasn't the ghetto. It was actually really nice, thriving black neighborhoods with black communities, black owned businesses, 2-parent homes. All the kids all knew each other. There was community, well-educated black families. And he said the thing that made that area the ghetto were the riots itself, because they destroyed those communities and the businesses that were there left. Why would I want to stay in a community? Why would I want to invest in a community that the people who live in the community is going to destroy? And then the families who had enough money left, and then lowered the values of those homes and lowered the value of that community, and people who are of lower income moved in. And so it slowly became the ghetto. It slowly became the hood. It wasn't because redlining pushed black folks into the ghetto. It's because other people within the communities destroy the communities from within by their own actions. So it's surprising to me that people are surprised that these Walmarts are going to shut down in Chicago or Portland. And I think it's just going to continue to happen, because it's not just the Walmarts, it's Target, it's electronic stores, it's grocery stores. And is it by design? Is this manufactured to slowly, constantly, continually degrade these communities where they become lower income, pushing people in, pushing people out of these communities and dragging riffraff in? Right? Or making people more dependent on the government because now there's a lack of jobs. Or why would I want to work? Like, it's crazy. Like, why would I want to work? Why am I working hard if I see people literally stealing everything I'm working hard to afford and there's no consequences to them? I had a guy come up to the retail shop that I work at. He asked me how much I was being paid an hour. And then he said, oh, I make more than that just sitting home. The government just gives me money. Again, dependent on the government. When I was looking for a job, when I got back here, I went on all these websites like, job search, jobfinder.com, put my email in, not knowing I was signing up for spam. But I kept getting these spam calls trying to sign me up for welfare. Right? Get me more dependent on the government. And so more people are going to be less likely to want to even work for their lack of opportunities. And the government the government keeps coming, telling you to come suck on their teat. And then people stealing, and you're like, why am I working hard when I can just take it off the shelf and walk out the door and nothing's going to happen to me?
There's one Walmart greeter that I guess had a moral dilemma when it came to whether or not stealing, as he saw it happening as people came out of the store, was something he would let slide. His TikTok user, his name is Brandon Tamayo, and he explains that while he was working as a receipt checker, when he did notice folks that were maybe stealing baby formula or diapers for their kids, that he would turn the other way and kind of let it move on.
I'll just say, if you see someone stealing diapers from Walmart, no, you didn't, okay? You didn't see that. Because, these are people in desperate situations. If you're literally stealing diapers, would you rather their child go without diapers or them steal it? Because the government's not gonna provide it to them.
Stop the cap.
This is the thing that like a lot of progressives do. They try to excuse bad behavior by, they had a lack of opportunity and they're oppressed or whatever, right? It's not poverty. Poverty does not equal crime. I'm sorry. Poverty does not equal crime, because I live in countries that have a different culture with poverty, and their poverty does not equal crime. It's the culture. In America, it's become culturally accepted to be a thief, to steal. Right? These soft on crime laws was perpetuated and pushed through because of the idea of like, it's affecting black and brown people because they're oppressed and have a lack of opportunities and you shouldn't punish them for that. So they use these excuses of they just needed to survive and they were just, stealing some eggs or stealing diapers and they had no opportunities. Why would you stop them? Right? But that's not what's happening. The people that are stealing all this food aren't mothers with their babies on their tit going in and trying to smuggle some fucking baby formula. That's not what's happening. But what has happened in the retail store that I work at, a couple of times, guys have literally took a buggy, packed it with all the diapers we freaking have, and run out of the store with almost every diaper we have on the shelf. And diapers are expensive. they're freaking expensive. So now, and these are young men. These are mothers struggling with their kids. These are young men that's going to go sell these diapers in the black market or sell them on the streets for cheaper or whatever. So now they're taking the diapers and the Pampers from mothers who need it, who worked hard to be able to afford the Pampers in the first place. And then going back and speaking about government welfare, we have a huge welfare safety net in America. So please save me the sob story of, oh my God, the struggling mother who just need Pampers and baby formula and diapers. Go again. We have welfare. We have food stamps. We have WIC. We have so many financial opportunities for unwed mothers. You're not going to I'm sorry, but you're not going to emotionally manipulate my empathy to try to get me to be okay with soft on crime laws because you're trying to use the struggling mother with the baby formula fucking bullshit. When there's ample amount of welfare, SSI, WIC, food stamps going around, and it's not that hard to get on it, and it's not that hard to stay on it. So I just wanted to say my piece. I think this is all by design. I think this is all manufactured, again, to destroy and deconstruct communities and neighborhoods and society, to get people to be hooked on government welfare, to be suckling on the government's teeth, and once again, to sort of do the racial divide. Because again, when the Walmart's closed in Portland, it got a bleep in the media, but when it closed in Chicago, all of a sudden it's because they're black. Oh my God, black, 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 black. Whatever. Not falling for it, and neither should you. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of all of this in the comment section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell to get notifications when I do upload. All that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support my channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal, my link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course, it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program or visit my brand new merch shop. Links down below and links to all of the alternative platforms I'm on, my Minds.com, my Discord, my Rumble account, my Twitter, and all the links to all the other YouTube channels I have is in the description box below and the community tab and the about page of this channel. And if you like, you can super thanks. I also have a second travel vlog channel. I travel as a lifestyle. I live abroad. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go to the description box below and also in the comment section. Hit the link. Go subscribe to my travel vlog channel and or follow me on my travel Instagram where my stories is mostly up to date. And you guys have an amazing day. Bye.